Okay, so in this video, I want to talk about this stuff right here. I don't know how you pronounce this. Ticaravi, but it's dust cleaning gel. And I was looking for something on Amazon to clean the interior of my car, detail it like in between the air conditioned vents. I was actually looking for tools to do that, and you know how Amazon is, it comes up with these suggested products. And when I seen the video on this, I instantly thought of camera gear cleaning. Now, I'm a Johnny come lately to many things in life, so maybe there are like 100 other videos of somebody using this to clean camera gear with, but this was my I just organically thought of it and bought 2 things of it, and I cleaned some stuff last night just real quickly, and it impressed me enough that I decided to do somewhat of a video here today. And let's just take a look at this stuff right away. So it has the smell of, like, I would call hand sanitizer or a very pleasant smelling soap. Now, of course, smells are like taste, it's all relative, but it and subjective, but it's just a gel, and it doesn't leave any real residue on your hands. But if you do touch surfaces of stuff like clear glass, it will leave a smear to it that comes off easily with cleaner, and I'll show that later in the video. So anyway, that's it, and it's good for getting into all of these different nooks and crannies. This lens hood is not too bad, but later in the video I have some stuff that I've already recorded that let's hit this spot. Now, this is like a quicker way of doing it, just kind of rubbing it back and forth. But again, it took about 99% of the stuff off of there. So I've got some different segments and different clips where I've done different parts, recorded different parts for different things that I did. And I'm just going to piece them all together, and you're going to see them right now. Okay, so let's jump right into this here. This is a new container that I haven't opened yet. And I have a rocket blower here. I also have my little rocket blower. And then I just got some various different pieces of camera gear that I want to try this out on. Now, to be honest, I have tried this out a little bit, and it did impress me enough to actually make this video. So one of the first things that I want to actually take a look at here that I was pretty impressed with is cleaning the dust. If you got any kind of a decent lens hood, it usually has like a felt or like a furry texture here, and it's meant to collect dust. That's what it's for. It's meant to collect dust, to keep the dust from going onto your camera lens. And the only problem is eventually they get a lot of dust. Mine, I have a dog in my house, my wife's dog, and a lot of times I get dog hair. So let's just see how this stuff works. And this one's not too bad. I don't know if the camera's getting this. I'll see in post when I'm editing, but I did this with a lens with my 24-105 last night, and it worked really good. Now, this is my hood off of my 24-70, and it's sticking a little more to this than I wanted it to, but it still comes back off. And look at that, it cleaned about 99% of the stuff right off of there. I had the lens hood that I did last night, I had one little piece of something that was really stuck in there. Now I have a little piece right there that's stuck, but for the most part you can see that it's getting it. Now, usually what I do for this, before I found this stuff, is I would use clear shipping tape, piece of tape, even gaffer's tape, something that was sticky, and put it in. But this is doing an amazing job in a relatively quick amount of time, and I'm kind of being really quick. What you got to do is, if you see how I'm kind of forcing it with my thumb to get it to get into but I still can't seem to get that little piece there. But I got, I'm going to say, about 99% of what was in there. And you can even go into places like this. Just give it some time, press it, let it get into the areas that it needs to get into, and then just pull it out. Now that area is nice and clean. So it works good on the lens hoods on the inside. This is one that always irritates me, is the crap that gets inside the lens cap. And of course, we always get crap on the inside of the lens cap. See if my camera can focus on that. And you know, you take a rocket blower, and sometimes you just want to throw the rocket blower in the garbage, because I'm squeezing that really hard and that piece of white stuff is not coming off of there. So let's just work this down in here. Still not coming off. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, or it's really... Okay, so it didn't work on that. I had to remove it with my thumbnail. I don't know what that was. But let's just... And I'll speed the video up. Let's go to the outside here. Yes, it cleaned that area up. Again, it gets about, I would say, 99%. I'm just kind of rolling it in there, and it cleaned that right out. There's nothing worse than cleaning your lens and then putting a dirty lens cap on or taking it off and watching the dust go from the lens cap right to your clean lens. And it cleaned that up really, really good. I could spend a little more time on these areas inside here, but for the purpose of time in the video, I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time with that. Let's look at the camera. So the camera itself, our cameras tend to get, and again, if I take the rocket blower and blow stuff off, but it's all this textured grip that gets little bits of dust. Let's see if we can't. Now, I will say that when you use it on any type of glass, because I'm going to do a lens filter, I may even do a lens here in a minute, it will leave a residue, but that's not a problem. This really wasn't that dirty, but where I can see that I have dirt is down here where my battery grip. Piece of hard dirt there. That's actually a scratch. There was some dirt right there. Always builds up there. We got a little bit of dirt in here. Wow, you cleaned that area right out good. So put that back. Always get dirt inside of this. The tripod plate. And again, I'm not, crazy about cleaning stuff and keeping stuff 100% clean all the time. I have friends that have, cameras where they literally cry if they get dirt on it. I don't understand that. I tend to get my camera gear dirty, and I'll clean lenses, and I clean it. I mean, as you see, my camera's not totally dirty, but compared to some people, I asked the Canon tech one time at Pro Services. When Pro Services was in New Jersey, I used to go down to Pro Services every year, sometimes twice a year, and I asked the camera tech one time about cleaning and stuff, and he said, if you're using L-glass and you got a high-end camera body, he's like, they're meant to be abused. They know what people are going to be using them for. Journalists are going to be using them out in the field, and they're not just going to be, weekend shooters. And I know when I take mine to the motocross track, or if I'm shooting outlaw sprint cars on a dirt track. So now this has, I can't remember what that was. That was some kind of like coffee or something that stained that, and I could never really get that out. And I had actually cleaned this with tape not too long ago, so. But that's looking pretty good. A little bit right there I missed. Yep. So as you're using this stuff, it tends to collect. You can see there's starting to get some stain and some dirt in there. So the one thing you want to keep in mind, if you get anything large in there and sharp in there, be careful if you're then going to use it on a lens or something like that. So with that said, let's close that one up. And kind of what I intend to do, I'm going to buy more of this stuff, but what I want to do is keep one that's just used for lenses. So right here we have a lens filter. This is a clear UV filter, and I forgot that it's got this. Now I gotta find something. So here's what happens when you clean glass with it. Now what I'm doing is I'm putting it right on the glass. Some people are going to cringe. I know I'm going to get stuff in the comment section about, you probably shouldn't do this. And it got it got almost everything off of there. There's a piece stuck right there. That piece that I can see right there, I don't know if the camera can see, but that piece I believe is on the inside. Yep. Okay, and as you can see now, I don't know if you can see, but I can see there is just like a smeariness to it, and that's fine. I'm going to show you in a second what I do to clean lenses. And now I'm going directly on the lens, and I'm going to let that sit there and kind of soak it, like form itself in. And I'm just going to show you real quick some of the things that I use to. This I use for everyday cleaner. I clean my eyeglasses with this, and I use this for touching up lenses when they just have a little bit of a smear. But this is the stuff that I use. It says residual oil remover. This stuff works great, and I always carry, well, I don't carry all of these with me. I have them in several different places. One in one camera bag, one in another camera bag. This one sits on my desk. I have several bottles of this. I've been using this probably for about 10 years, and it works great. So they are the cleaners that I use. And then as far as lens cloths, my favorite lens cloth is this Lens Coat. I probably have 4 or 5 of these. I keep them in different places, and I will wash these and reuse them. I wash them just with hand soap and water, rinse them really, really good, and dry them really good. Make sure after you've washed them, you just want to make sure. This one was washed a while ago. You just want to make sure that you have nothing that got worked into it that is sharp, because that has happened. I have these guys. Again, the brand name doesn't really matter. These are lens cleaning. It's like a little tissue paper. These work good for certain applications that this doesn't work for, because we're not just cleaning all of these big lenses. Sometimes I'm cleaning something as small as one of these filters for the Osmo Pocket and the Osmo Action. And then another one that I just acquired, and I actually am really loving. I used this a couple times, and this is a one-sided one. You do not use the side that has, you use this side, and it tells you right on it, in case you're stupid, that do not use this side for cleaning. This side is for gripping, and I used this to clean actually this big lens the other day, and it worked really, really good. So we had some air pockets in there, so you can see, but you know what? It did a hell of a job. And because it is kind of oily, it doesn't really leave an oil on your hands. Nothing at all. But it does leave like a residue. So what I will do, actually, let me put him back. And I like to clean in a circular motion once I know there's nothing on the lens. Again, you go on YouTube and there's probably 1,000 lens cleaning videos and 20 different methods in those 1,000. And if all else fails, I go back to my old faithful. And sometimes I find that actually, once you have it clean, just buffing the glass, polishing the glass, whatever you want to call it. But that's clean. I don't see a little bit of dust from the lens cloth, of course. But it looks perfectly clean. Now I'm just going to leave that lay over top, and with filters, I'm only concerned with one side until I get it on. Come on, baby. And then once I have it on, I concern myself with this side. So that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to show a little bit about how this stuff works. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. I think I paid $4 something for each one of these. They'll be in the description box down below. You can check it out. Anyway, if you like this video, hit like, hit subscribe. I'm harmless. Come back again. Check out what other kind of stuff I get into.